Radio Free Tatooine presents Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast.
Boshuda, fellow Holotable hustlers. You're tuned into Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, a.k.a. the other Sean, and sitting across the Holotable from me is Josh, a.k.a. the Golden Pop-Tart.
So this weekend, we had Conquest, right? Mm-hmm. And so I also redid one of our small bathrooms. And I've decided I like Conquest more than I do any type of remodeling. And it was a close. You.
Yes.
But man.
The last couple of weekends, I've gone into the weekend, both of them. I've gone into the weekend, hey, babe, what do you want to do this weekend? Oh, nothing. Oh, God, that sounds great. Yeah, let's just take it easy. And then we spend at least a day landscaping.
Oh, man.
So I can relate. I can relate.
Ooh,
for sure.
Remodeling or landscaping?
I mean... Don't get me
tough.
wrong, she did 98% of the work. So it's like her passion. This is not Sean's a lazy, terrible husband. This is like a thing she enjoys and not a thing I enjoy. So anyways, yeah, we're back. We've got this is like perfect timing too, because Grand Arena takes a week off. And we had to delay talking about Padawan Obi-Wan. So now Master Qui-Gon is coming out and we can just talk about both of them tonight. And we don't have to worry about Grand Arena. I'll give you the summary of what's happened in Grand Arena. I streamed right before this, the first round, and it didn't go great. We'll talk more about that later.
I mean, the one nice thing though, too, is just Padmé's going to be out just here in a bit too. I mean, really kind of nice to kind of get an idea of exactly how these two are going to play, with her. So it's going to be kind of fun. And it just, we're talking about before the show, like just a good time. Like these are great characters and just excitement is up there.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting to see how well she does with 3-star versions of these characters. I know, right? Because that's what I'm going to have for a very long time.
Oh, yeah, same here.
But yeah, so we're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about the new PC client and what that's like. A little bit of Conquest. And we've got a great one. I'll give you the topic, but we're not going to get into it until later in the show. Out of all the characters in the game, we're going to talk about like what character's outfit would you like to wear and what one would you not want to wear. I haven't put much thought into this. I'll be honest. It's going to be fantastic. My best work is usually when I don't think about it at all.
There you go.
Minimal effort. It's kind of the brand here at Radio Free Tatooine.
That's what it is.
I had a stream today and someone jumped in and said, prosciutto, fellow Holotable hustlers.
That's awesome.
I was like, prosciutto. Oh, that's very good. So that really made me chuckle. All right. Before we get into all the juicy meat of this episode, let's celebrate a couple Blurf days. Not a whole lot of celebrations this week, just a couple. On the 25th, we've got Kira turning 6 years old and Enfys Nest turning 6 years old. See, this is back in the day. I'm sorry, Enfys Nest is on the 30th, but also 6 years old. But these are from back in the day when new Star Wars content came out and we got stuff in the game. Like... We still have nothing from most of these Disney series. I want some stuff from Andor and some stuff from Ahsoka. Oh my goodness, I want some new stuff from Ahsoka.
I know Ahsoka so much. I mean, even after rewatching a little bit of Kenobi, I'm like, there's a couple in here that I would just love.
Yeah, that big goofy yellow droid.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing. I'm a sucker for a droid. Thing.
Yeah, totally. But anyways, happy birthday, Kira and Enfys Nest. We don't use you as much as we used to, but fun-ish kits.
Yeah.
Nest was a headache for years. Like, I mean, she was just a real pain.
I mean, but that's PJ, right? That's pre-Josh.
Oh yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough part that I've kind of gone through and like, okay, there's a lot of stuff that used to be, but I'm more in the more now.
Yeah.
I get a couple. Obviously, I'm for, but
you never lived in that Dooku meta.
No, right?
Oh man, that Dooku meta was the worst. That's good that you missed. Most of the stuff you missed out on, honestly, all the good stuff is still here. Like the legendaries carried over, and all that good content still exists in the game. But man, there's some stuff under this rug that just should never come out.
Even though I know you talk about tournaments before and how horrible it was, I would still love. I need to find some old tape on that. Just to kind of watch it, because I just want to kind of... Obviously, back then, it probably wasn't... YouTube wasn't a huge thing, right?
I don't... It certainly wasn't as big. No. I mean, the game had fewer content creators. That's the only reason we got noticed. The good ones weren't out yet.
It's like getting a medal, and there's 1, 2, and 3 teams, so you're guaranteed a medal.
Yay! All right, let's take a look at this week's upcoming in-game events, brought to you by swgohevents.com for a complete list of past, present, and future events. swgohevents.com is a universe of info in a galaxy of heroes. This week is less exciting than the last couple because we don't have a bow coming back. We don't have Leviathan coming back. We just got, some regular old ordinary events, but they're good ones. We've got a credit heist starting things off on the 23rd, as well as a Galactic challenge. On Bespin, we're going to have bonuses for separatists, and you're fighting against scoundrels. 23rd is also a sign up for Territory War, number 326. And then on the 24th, we're looking at contraband cargo, as well as Admiral's Maneuver. That is the Fleet Mastery event for your Radis blueprints. 25th just gives us an assault battle, Places of Power. Apologies, my voice is just like shredded from whining on Twitch earlier. I think that's what it is.
You should just say that this is a choice, right? You're just going for that growl.
Yeah, it's the new aesthetic here.
There you go.
Like my phone tracks how many steps I take in a day, but I kind of wish it. Well, actually, I don't wish it would, but it'd be kind of neat to know how many words I've said today because I feel like it's a lot.
Yeah.
Just a lot. All right. 25th is the Assault Battle Places of Power. Then the 26th is going to be a General's Command. That is the Fleet Mastery for the Finalizer, as well as Smuggler's Run 2. It's one of my least favorite recurring events.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so painful. And another Galactic Challenge will drop on that day as well. We don't know what yet. On the 27th, we've got Territory Battle starting back up. Not so bad when it's not Conquest Week, That's your only grindy thing going on. I don't mind it. 27th also gives us an Endor Omega Battle. And sign up for week 2 of this 3v3 Grand Arena Bonanza. On the 28th, we've got Galactic Bounties 2. And then on the 29th, we're looking at Defense of Dathomir. That's where you get your Talzin shards and or Zetas. So, a decent week. It's just very regular old week, you know? we're past May the 4th.
There you go.
And all the aftershocks of Bo, and for me, Leviathan coming back.
Yep.
And now we're finishing up Conquest. So that's it.
Just basic time. Basic time is still busy, but
it is
basic.
It is. It'll be fine. We'll keep ourselves very busy. Now, before we dive into this week's top stories, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoy what we do and you want to be a part of our exclusive community, head over to patreon.com/Galactic War Report. Your support makes this podcast possible, and you get access to the VIP section of our Discord server for some behind-the-scenes tomfoolery. Now then, punch it, Pop-Tart.
All right. So why don't we start with the PC client? We'll save the main course of the two kits at the end here. So we're nice enough to get a PC client here. Now, me having a PC, sorry, Sean, in this case, your superior, nice, awesome Apple doesn't get to do it just yet. So hopefully soon. But I will say this is outstanding. I was streaming basically all the way through the Doth chat just because it really is really, really nice in the sense of really having, I'm not an FPS person. Like I really truly, I understand the difference between 60 and 30, but if I always have 30, I'm fine. Like, but if I move to 60, sure, I don't want to go back to 30.
Yeah.
But in this case, it doesn't feel like I'm going from 30. I feel like I'm going from 30 to like 300 because it's like right now we see something so slow, right? Or we see it really fast. And in this case, really, the graphics on this really make a difference, especially in the backgrounds. Fleet itself was really fun to do because they transition really, really smooth. So those things that you normally don't care about really or really see, you kind of get to see. And so I think that is one, like the graphics piece and the FPS is really a big difference. And again, you've stared at this game for how many days, years?
That's one thing I definitely don't want to know how many.
Yeah, right. It's funny though, because if I play like something on the Xbox or anything like that, I'm like, oh, I played this for like this many hours. Yeah. And I would be really wondering what this would be. Now, guess what? Now you actually can get to know this because through the EA app, it actually tracks it. So you can now through here see it. But I think on the phone wise, But one huge change is the fact that you get to see so much more on your screen. So when it comes to the character screen, it is 2, 4, 6, 8 across. And then I can see 5 down. You can see a ton of these characters. Same thing for, any of the shipments. It's the whole screen is the shipments. It's really, really interesting. And I will say too, one different thing that is going to be on here in the store, you actually have another login bonus that you also get. And so if I go to the web store, I get one. And then if I go to the PC, I get another.
What's the quality of this bonus? What are we talking here? Is this just like
same as the other one? So it's basically I got 2 things of Qui-Gon and I got 100 energy. So for me, it does mean that I will be turning this on just because why not, right? And so then I'll just keep it on. But no, I can't do that obviously because it's on the phone. But either way. Arguing myself for a moment. I'm like, no, you can't do that. Why are you saying it? Like,
listen here, you little.
But is it going to make and break the game? Of course not. It feels like it kind of feels like this is like the remastered version of it, kind of. So I've been playing Last of Us 2, and it was like for $8 you can upgrade to the PS5 version. Okay, why not, right? So. I did it, and you're like, oh, this looks wonderful. It's the same game, but it just gives a couple extra little things to it that it just feels good. And I think after the first probably 5 minutes of playing it, all the stuff that normally has to download, like you get the character come up and it's just the head for a moment, and then it fully downloads, and then it's the full body. Obviously, it's a beta too, but yeah, I can definitely say just playing each of playing Arena, it just kind of feels nice. I mean, but is it something you have to have? Well, it probably equals to another 100 energy in the day if that works out right.
Here's my conundrum as a Mac user. I only learned today, and I feel a little silly, but I only learned today that you can run this on a Mac.
Oh,
you have to go through Parallels, which is like basically running Windows virtually on your Mac. So you're kind of running both operating systems. It's probably not that hard, but I just don't want to. It's free stuff, though. I didn't know there was free stuff. That changes.
See, and you're on your computer, right? So, I mean, for you, legitly, you're on it all day.
All day, every day.
I don't know.
I'm so happy in my Mac OS world. I don't want anything Windows on this. I'll consider it. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well,
but it looked beautiful. Yeah, you were streaming it in Discord, and it did. It looked really nice.
And I do think that when it streams, and then I've seen others use it, obviously, and it's not the same as what you see. It's just crisper, it really is. And again, it just, at this point, we've played this game so much, getting to see something else just for a moment, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
And I always think too, and I don't have the greatest computer in the world by any means. And so if I have BlueStacks up while I have, say, doing this podcast, it has some trouble. Especially if it's anything if the Mandalorians are going with Bo. It's that computing power is having a rough time,
Don't even think about Tuskens.
I know, momentum. Right? No
That's
way.
Not, that, we're not doing
momentum that. Means death.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, that's when this comes out, I think it's going to be really. I can't imagine that this is going to be a really great thing. I think a lot of people are going to do it. Just it's kind of nice to be able to take a look at it. So
yeah.
So all right, now and then.
Oh, I was just going to send us right over to Poncho Land.
Let's do
it. So Poncho Master Qui-Gon.
Yes.
And Padawan freaking Obi-Wan are in game now. Qui-Gon, as we record, hasn't released yet, so we haven't had a chance to use him yet. But he's in the game just as a grayed out character, kind of. All right, so have you had a chance to really play with Obi-Wan, or just kind of do the marquee?
That's that. I redid the marquee event a couple times just to kind of see it, and I've watched a good amount of video online, but I can't say that I know enough to be this is exactly what he does.
Oh yeah, God, no, I don't get there with a character until 6 months out. If ever, right? All right, well let's talk about what he does first. So Padawan Obi-Wan is the Phantom Menace version intended to go with Qui-Gon and Amidala. He is an attacker, of course, Galactic Republic, and so most of his kit's not that bad. It's just that doggone unique. Oh my goodness. Okay. But the basic: practice aggression, deal physical damage, and inflict potency down on target enemy for 1 turn. If that enemy has 50% or more health, He gains 20% turn meter and foresight for 1 turn. And then deal 5% more damage, stacking to a max of 50 for each stack of heal over time Padawan Obi-Wan has. If there is a Master Qui-Gon at the start of battle, then if target enemy has less than 50% health, Padawan Obi-Wan gains defense penetration and offense up for 1 turn. Then his 2 specials, he's got Redirected Blast. This is deal physical damage to target enemy and daze them for 2 turns. If it crits, you remove 100% turn meter from target enemy, and he gains 100 speed for 2 turns. That's fun.
That's nice.
That also can't be evaded, which is good. And then his second special is Sweeping Assault. This is deal physical damage and inflict defense down for 2 turns on all enemies. Then, if there's an active Queen Amidala ally, deal damage again. Galactic Republic Jedi allies gain crit chance up and offense up for 2 turns. Then, holy smokes, this thing. And it's a
good one.
Conquest.
I know.
Omicron. Like, no. At the start of battle, no. Padawan Obi-Wan gains 25% crit chance for each other Galactic Republic ally, and if there's a Master Qui-Gon and Queen Amidala, he gains Discipline until the end of battle, which can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. Discipline is attacks can't be countered, and whenever this character gains a stack of protection over time, they also gain a stack of heal over time for 2 turns, and this character's attacks ignore protection. So that's fun.
Yeah.
We just had a whole faction come out that is all protection.
Yeah.
So, Padawan Obi-Wan also has plus 5% crit chance. This is all that same ability. That's stacking with a max of 50 for each stack of heal over time on him. And plus 5% crit damage, you guessed it, max 50 for each stack of protection over time on him. If there's a Master Qui-Gon in the... it doesn't have to be a leader, but why would it be? That would be silly. If there's an allied Master Qui-Gon, whenever he uses an ability, Padawan Obi-Wan assists, dealing 40% less damage. The first time Qui-Gon is defeated, Padawan Obi-Wan takes a bonus turn and gains 5% offense for each relic level Master Qui-Gon had for 4 turns. Not bad.
Yeah.
If there's an active Handmaiden decoy, Padawan Obi-Wan grants her 50% defense. If Padawan Obi-Wan is active, whenever another ally is critically hit, they gain defense up for 1 turn, and he gains crit damage up for 1 turn. So don't mess with his friends. Now, the conquest part, the Omicron, obviously, is allies gain 10% max health and max protection, and 30 speed. Allies gain an additional 10% max health and max protection for each relic amplifier level Padawan Obi-Wan has. Cut the offense of Sith enemies in half until end of battle.
Maul.
That's funny.
Love it.
I love that. Padawan Obi-Wan has a 50% chance to take a bonus turn whenever an enemy ends their turn. And when he starts this bonus turn, all allies are going to recover 75% health, gain 75% offense for 2 turns, and enemies are inflicted with buff immunity and healing immunity for 2 turns, which can't be resisted. Did you think that was it? No, there is actually more. If Padawan Obi-Wan's stamina is 50% or greater, whenever an ally uses a special, they inflict accuracy down, crit chance down, crit damage down, defense down, evasion down, offense down, potency down, speed down, stagger, and tenacity down on target enemy for 2 turns, which can't be evaded. That's like a hot knife through conquest, right?
I mean, I looked. There's actually, not a ton, but a decent amount of people have done this. So, I mean, I don't know.
Hold on 1 second, because there is more. We're not done.
I'm sorry.
There is
what am I
more
saying?
to this kit. If Padawan Obi-Wan's stamina is 50% or greater, whenever Padawan Obi-Wan uses a special, all allies gain accuracy up, crit chance up, crit damage up, defense up, evasion up, offense up, potency up, speed up, and tenacity up for 2 turns. So, essentially, all the enemies always have all the debuffs. All your allies always have all the buffs. And they all have a ton of, up to 90% extra health and protection and 30 speed. Sith are all a bunch of wimps.
Yep.
Like, this is nuts. And it's an interesting kind of proposition here because essentially what they're saying is, they put out this survey like, hey, do you guys like Conquest Omicron's circle yes or no? And we don't.
Nope.
They got a big resounding no. And then if you recall, with the Gungans, they put out a Galactic Challenge Omicron, which is one of the most absurd things I could imagine. But they give this guy, a Conquest Omicron. And I will say, they made it legit.
Yeah, they did.
So, as much as I hate, that's kind of the thing, is I hate the idea of Conquest Omicrons. Conquest is grindy and a pain in the butt. Everybody feels that way. And there's varying degrees of you like it or don't. But even if you like it, it's like no one is arguing that it's not like a huge time commitment.
Yeah.
So like this really cuts that down a lot.
Yeah, I mean, and I think about
I don't know.
Just the amount of buffs that you're going to be getting in here, and just the already how offensive minded this kit is. Yeah. And I'm thinking right now in this one, I do a ton of heal over times, so that way I stack the offense quicker. This one, you don't even have to do that. You just have it. I mean,
sure.
With this Omicron, like he's gonna go from being okay, like, or even pretty strong to basically destroying everything.
Imagine this with that stacking offense.
I know.
Data disk.
Unbelievable. I mean,
nuts.
It really does. And it's funny because in some ways I keep on looking, okay, there's on this team, you got some crit ups, right? You got some, you know, we don't see too many of those as a requirement or a feat that we have to do. You know, but there is a daze, and daze is always a pain in the rear end.
It is.
So, I mean, depending on kind of what these next feats are going to be, and if it's more towards these characters, I mean, and I always have a feeling if they do a Conquest Omicron, they have to do it to where basically this is going to be all of the feats. I mean, it just feels that way. Every time we get a character, like, everything is just tied to it, like Gungan's, challenges and all this. So it feels like they're going to sweeten the pot for people that use this. Maybe the next Conquest.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because, like, I look at that and I'm like, God, I would love to be able to do that in Conquest. But I don't like the precedent that it sets. That they can put a Conquest Omicron out and people will be like, yeah, sweet. No, not sweet. I don't want that. I don't want Omicrons split into another PvE thing. Ugh.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I've only done, which is funny, I did the wrong Jedi Knight Cals. And so I'm really great for all the other events, but I'm pretty poor when it comes to the actual one that matters.
The one that the guild is most concerned about. Yeah.
Yeah. So great job, Josh. But yeah.
Okay. So let's take a look at Qui-Gon then as well. Master Qui-Gon is, He is a part of that team as well. He's your support and looks pretty cool. I want to see him in action. His Omicron is a territory war one. I'm fine with that. That's okay. I mean, we all love the Gek Amis, right? But they can't all be Gek Amis. And if they're not going to be Gek, territory war is the second best. Arguably, I don't know. No, I'm not sure. Territory battles, you could definitely argue, are good as well.
I can show you, but no one else. I mean, I have my Qui-Gon pop character just staring at me here, and I have to say, like, this model so I'm looking at it in game right now is wonderful, but then it's like they're trying for Liam Neeson here. So it's like our Qui-Gon got like a facelift, got a little bit of Botox, right? This one's going to look good. And I mean, even the animations in this, they got me. I mean, this is going to be, one of my favorite characters. And I can already tell just by the look of them, especially these moves too. I think they did a really good job with the Gungans. And I feel like they really encompassed the Gungans and how they are designed, everything, Jar Jar acting crazy. And then I look at the fact that Obi-Wan, I mean, that's Obi-Wan, man. They did a good job with the face too,
that is
right?
Him there.
And now with Qui-Gon, it just, I don't know.
Yep.
That's all. I mean, just talking about how great he is.
So his, he appreciates it. His is not as wordy. But
no,
it's still, look, man, these Omicrons are out of control. All right. So his basic attack is, I keep clearing my throat on mic. I'm sorry. And it's at times where I can't edit it out. So everyone's just going to get all of that. So,
hey, we're real. We're real here.
We are real. Very DIY here. All right. His basic is called Ataru Strike. It is deal special damage and inflict breach on target enemy for 1 turn. That's kind of fun. Breach on a basic. During Master Qui-Gon's turn, all Galactic Republic allies with heal over time or protection over time, which is going to be a lot of them, gain defense up for 1 turn. If Master Qui-Gon has accuracy up, all Galactic Republic allies recover 10% health and protection. There's a lot of ifs, but like it's almost always going to be that case, you know. All right, his first special is called Feel, Use Your Instincts, and it is dispel all buffs on target enemy. If target enemy had any buffs dispelled this way, they are inflicted with buff immunity for 1 turn and remove 50% turn meter. If the ally in the leader slot was Queen Amidala at the start of the battle, Master Qui-Gon exposes all enemies for 2 turns, and if an enemy is inflicted with doubt, stun them for 1 turn, which can't be registered, resisted. Master Qui-Gon gains 100% defense for 2 turns, and legendary battle meditation for 1 turn, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. If no allies are taunting, all other non-Galactic Legend Galactic Republic allies stealth for 2 turns. If an ally is taunting, all non-Galactic Legend Galactic Republic allies gain speed up for 2 turns instead, and this ability can't be evaded. There's so much that happens. You push one button in this game.
I know, right?
And the whole world flips around.
There's somebody that is basically playing this or has played this so much, and where every single piece of wording and script, they're like, yep, this is working. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they know that this is working. And man, it's like basically giving someone like directions on like a napkin that's like, you know, all full of coffee and grime, you know?
Right. Oh, that's nuts. All right. His only other move is, I'll take that bet. You roll a chance cube. That's pretty cool. If
it is.
The result is red, nothing happens. If the result is blue, deals special damage based on 5% of his max health. It's 2% per stack of Queen's protection to all enemies, plus 2% per stack of Queen's protection to all enemies. Dispel all debuffs on all Galactic Republic allies. Master Qui-Gon gains 25% max health and max protection, stacking to a max of 100 for the rest of the encounter. And ally Padawan Obi-Wan gains 30% offense for 2 turns. If the ally in the leader slot is Queen Amidala, and there is no active ally Handmaiden decoy, she gains crit damage up and foresight for 2 turns. If there's an active Handmaiden decoy, the decoy gains 25% max health and max protection for the rest of the encounter. All Galactic Republic allies gain tenacity up for 2 turns and inflict tenacity down on all enemies for 2 turns. Master Qui-Gon will influence the outcome of the chance cube roll. So, what does that mean? He will influence the chance.
It means the percentage of likelihood that you get red is 0. So, based on the questions asked in here...
Are you kidding me? It's 0?
It's 0, yeah. So, can the chance cube ever come up red? And the answer is currently no. So I hope that's like...
Oh, that's funny.
I mean, it's interesting because I kind of, in some ways, I want it to. But on the other side of it, as soon as I hit red, I'm going to be instant frustrated.
Well, yeah, the 50% chance for this move to do Jack is... Look, that's how some of these kits were early game design, you know? Where, like... It's an attack would just be deal physical damage to enemy with a 30% chance to stun.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine just getting a kit that just did that now?
That'd be crazy.
I would love it. I'm going to be honest. I'd be, yes.
Most basic. It has to be a hard hitting thing though, but
yeah. Make it worthwhile, but crikey.
One thing I was thinking is that just like Jar Jar has a 1% chance of instant kill, make this 1% chance that you could get red. I mean, I would be okay with that. Like, I obviously want it always to be blue, but on the other side of it, why not?
Why not? All right. And then he does have a unique as well. This is the territory war bit. But before you get to the territory, this is the one that works everywhere, the part of it. At the start of battle and whenever Galactic Republic allies are stunned, they're immune to turn meter reduction and gain defense up for 1 turn. Whenever any other Jedi ally attacks during Master Qui-Gon's turn, he assists once per turn. And whenever Master Qui-Gon is critically hit, all Galactic Republic allies gain 30% protection up for 2 turns. And all Galactic Republic attacker allies recover 10% health, gain advantage for 2 turns. And ally Padawan Obi-Wan gains crit damage up for 2 turns. While enemies are inflicted with tenacity down, they have minus 30% crit damage and defense. The first time any Galactic Republic ally, excluding summons, falls below 50% health, if the ally in the leader slot is Galactic Republic, the leader takes a bonus turn. Dispels all debuffs on the leader, and all Galactic Republic allies gain 25% max health until the end of the encounter. If the ally in the leader slot is Amidala at the start of battle, she gains 25% turn meter, 50% if there's an active Padawan Obi-Wan, and Master Qui-Gon assists whenever she uses her basic. Yikes. All right. And then the territory war part is at the start of... and they all have to be non-Galactic Legend Galactic Republic. But at the start of the encounter, all allies gain 50% max health, 100% if the ally in the leader slot is Queen Amidala for the rest of the encounter. And defense up for 3 turns. Whenever he is critically hit, Qui-Gon gains foresight and 10 speed, stacking to a max of 50 for 2 turns. Whenever Master Qui-Gon is defeated, all allies gain 50% offense for 2 turns and recover 100% protection. If the ally in the leader slot is Galactic Republic, when they have less than 50% health, Master Qui-Gon gains 50% bonus protection for 2 turns at the start of this turn. Now, if the ally in the leader slot is Queen Amidala, then these 2 things are true. Whenever a Galactic Republic ally attacks out of turn, they deal 50% more damage, remove 25% turn meter, and inflict ability block for 1 turn, which can't be evaded on target enemy. And whenever Master Qui-Gon gains Legendary Battle Meditation, all non-galactic legend tank enemies are inflicted with healing immunity and protection disruption for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. My God.
I mean,
I am done talking about Qui-Gon.
I was going to say, if we had a step counter for your mouth right there, it would have been a couple.
Good.
I mean,
grief.
But here's the crazy thing. I'm getting that Omicron. I'm just going to do it. I mean, yeah, I think it's, again, I'm sorry, Guild, but I don't have any for the Guild. And so, again, I got a good feeling that I'm going to, this whole character, this whole group, I'm going to probably have in pretty high relics because I'm just really excited for this group. But I think this one,
I mean,
just
you'll want high relics because they all get the percentage based stuff, you know, and some of them are based on relic levels. But with him, they in Territory Wars all get 100% max health under Amidala lead.
Yeah.
So like, relic that stuff up. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck there.
I mean, if it's anything, if she's anything like what's in Conquest, I mean, that is crazy, right? I mean,
yeah.
So
she'll
can you
be
imagine
something like that?
Yeah, there's no way she can be that speed. One, right? Yeah. But I mean, just looking at that and the fact that it always feels like you can't hit her, and that means that your decoy is going to be always pulling them to there, and all you got to do with Qui-Gon, I mean, he's gonna sit down. Kneel down and go through and give you a ton of buffs. And then now with this, I mean, I don't know. It's just this one a little bit to me, not just a little bit, like a lot of it. It's exciting.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see because like our understanding of this team is kind of Amidala, Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously in 3s, sure, that makes sense. It'll be interesting to see what 4 and 5 end up as,
I wonder what they'll have in there.
But I mean, right now it looks like a solid team. It's got some kind of neat things, but like so many, and I guess when I see it in action, I'm sure I'll feel differently to some degree, right? But it seems like it's one of those kits that's like, and it does this, and it does this, and it does this, and it does this. And it doesn't feel like, oh, that's neat design. It just feels like it buffs this and 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 this. And that's, I don't know. It feels exciting because it looks like there's enough of those numbers that look like they're going to be big. So it feels exciting that way. But it also feels like we just made the bigger and badder team that's bigger and badder than your team. I don't know.
Understandable.
I don't even know if that makes sense. I'm just annoyed that I had to read that much, man.
I hope
out loud or to myself. No one should have to read that much.
All I want is just one person to go back and count that for us and just be like, just how many words. Don't do that. I was totally joking. Please don't.
Okay.
But not you. I mean, yes. You can if you want.
I'm about to.
All right.
All right. What else have we got? We've got no Grand Arena, really, to speak of.
But we do have one thing we got to talk about. I mean, we said we were going to. So, I mean,
Oh my God, we do. That was 773 words.
Oh, jeez.
By the way.
Look at you with your technology being able to find that.
Goodness. Yeah. So this is so stupid. We were just about to hit record and like start the show. And Josh is just out of left field. We should do a bit about like what characters' costumes you would wear. Like just totally offhanded. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. We talked about it for a minute. So we kind of know each other's thoughts just a bit.
Yeah.
But let's like take turns. We'll each do like our top 5 that
top
we would
5.
wear.
I would wear. All right.
Yeah.
So again, all it was I was basically just going through the different characters, and I just had that thought, So I thought I was looking at Jedi Knight Cal, and it's interesting because obviously in the game, there's a lot of different outfits. But I'll tell you what, I'm not saying that I'm gonna wear it everywhere, but I just really enjoy it. I think it just, I don't know, it looks clean, and it's just something I could definitely see, yourself wearing, obviously, in some ways. So I really like that. And when I go back to kind of the ones that I really truly like, a lot of them are going to be that side of it. Now, the Jedi robes, my favorite Jedi robes is definitely going to be Jedi Master Kenobi. Like just being able to wear that around the house, I think would be really interesting. Yeah. And I would have fun with that.
I've done it. I can describe it. I'll do it next time we podcast. I'll just show up in my robes.
That's awesome. Totally off. I don't know why we're talking so much about clothes, but if you watch The Office, I'm wearing a Mike's Tots shirt from the episode. So, and it has on the back of it is the whole part of the song. If you watch The Office, that's interesting. All right. So, going back to the ones,
the audio description, so they can picture.
There you go. Right.
What their heroes look like. Yeah.
And weirdly, another one that I actually like is going to be, Kylo Ren unmasked. I think it's just. It
almost looks like a thermal underwear or something,
A little bit. Like it looks like it's comfy. I know it's definitely not, perfect by any means, but I will say that I looked at that and I thought that was pretty interesting. And then another one too, which is also, I guess I like to wear black. And then I would say my last one is going to actually be General Hux. In the long coat is really nice. I'm a banker, so I guess, that would be something I could wear like on a Tuesday.
Sure.
So that's a few of mine there. So how about for you?
Okay. Wow. I got some thoughts here. So it depends on all these variables, right? But one that I'm going to say is Jedi Master Kenobi, because I have the costume in the next room right over there. I have that. That's a Halloween costume I own. So, and it's not too bad, not too uncomfy. I'm going to say Darth Sion as well, because in Knights of the Old Republic, he was essentially wearing hammer pants. And I remember that was a thing that CG talked about when they brought him into this game, was they had to kind of redesign him a little bit to make it look a little less ridiculous. And they put him in a kilt. And like, I'm Scottish descent, right? And I have a kilt, doesn't look anything like his, but I'm looking at what he's wearing and I'm like, looks like some comfy pants and a kilt, some good boots. I could rock that. It's a little goth for my taste.
Yeah.
But I could rock that. Another one I'm going to throw in is Cassian.
Okay.
Cassian Andor, because that vest, that like green vest with the little like yellow patch thing, love it. Love that design. What am I at? 3? Yeah. You know what? I joked earlier about Wampa. And here's the thing. You can read that a couple different ways. One, like just covered in fur, like some kind of barbarian or something, just completely covered in fur. Or just butt naked, you know?
Yeah,
like,
I know, right?
I'm not going to be walking around town, but like it's comfy. So those are a couple thoughts. Now, one that I wouldn't want, like absolute number one that I would not want to wear, Darth Malak.
Oh.
That looks like a constrictive suit thing that he's wearing, and he's just got his jaw just blocked off. Like,
yeah, he does.
No snacking. We're not snacking. Like, I don't. Nope. That's number one. I guess one other that I would point out is, it'd be cool to have like some armor.
Yeah.
Just like a stormtrooper, clone trooper, something like that. That'd be pretty neat. I think that's the gist of mine then. Do you have any others, any that come to mind that you just absolutely know?
Yeah, so the ones I don't really like, I mean, saws. I mean, just... that
looks like a lot.
It looks like I have a dishwasher on my clothing. I mean, it looks heavy. I mean,
yeah, some of these are just the heaviness of it. Ugh.
I mean, I would love at times to be able to just take a shot of oxygen, but you know, I just don't think that's going to be able to do it. Now, another one is any of the Geos. I mean, all I'm saying is, at my age, it's like, you know, when you said earlier about Scion, I'm like, I don't know, like I'm good, like. I'm past that point of playing shirts and skins. So that's the only downside there.
That kilt kind of comes up a little bit, so it kind of like tucks up over your belly.
Oh, true.
Which is kind of nice too, because I got a little belly.
So and then I'll end with both Ugnaughts. I think that it's. I mean, nothing gets cool here, but it looks like it's a one piece, and you know, I mean, both of them have that, you know, one piece that I just don't know if I could walk out in public and wear that. But
I'm gonna throw one more out there, Moff Gideon.
Oh yeah,
the chest plate with the cape. Come on, man, I would rock that.
I mean, there's another one too that I can't remember who it is, where it has a cape, and I thought I could probably wear that.
Capes, Lando, Vader. There's some absolutely solid capes. All right, let's transition, because I do want to talk briefly about Conquest. It wraps up in just a couple days as this episode drops. Where you at? How are you gonna? What crate do you think you're ending up with?
I'm definitely going to end up with gold, and that's really been, to be honest, it's a goal through this whole Conquest, because I should have worked a little bit harder, but I still feel like my sanity's there. I feel pretty good about it. I actually am right now at 538, so I do have that gold crate, and so now I'm looking at, all right, to get to the 630, I'm really gonna have to push it, and I just don't know if I can push it that good, you know. Because I mean, the big ones that I'm missing out on right now is it's gonna be Stap. That one I don't have any for, and then also to the IG and Grogu. That one with Beck has been a challenge for me. And I'm sorry, but there's no way in Hades that I'm going to be able to beat Padmé without a Galactic Legend. I mean, I know it's possible, but it just isn't going to happen. And so basically, I always have a hard time with momentum. Like, I'm not going to be able to get that because I don't have the Tuscans. So I'm probably going to end up right before it. And to be honest, I got 4 more days. There's a good chance that I just stop it all and just do data crowns at this point.
Yeah.
Even though I probably should push, but I think if I can do everything that I can do at this point, I'm still going to end up being about 9 or 10 short. But It's all right because, I mean, I know this is going to be a character I'm going to use a lot, but I'm not going to have him right away. So I got a while until those 7s are there. So I'm okay with not getting her right off the bat. I'll get her after the first one and the next one.
And that's the thing. You got 2 marquee characters supporting this, so it's going to be a while before you'll have the rest of the pieces in place. So I can see how that kind of would put me at ease.
Yeah.
Because I'm out here grinding. I'm going to get that max crate, but it's going to be the dog catching the car.
Yeah, right.
Cool. What do I do with it? I don't know. Man. We talked a little bit before the show as we were kind of doing our DOF chat and whatnot that I just had a day where feats were like getting knocked down. It's just like, I finished that one too, and this one, whatever. So I am now 6 biscuits away from max crate.
Nice.
So I gotta, I think, kill 13 things with droids.
Oh,
I got 4 days to do it. I can handle that. I'll get my little R2 in there and burn them. But yeah, I mean, it's been kind of weird because I went through and typically I'll go through and beat every level, and then you pick up 3 stars on the levels that you didn't get 3 stars on. And then on this one, I got all of the boss feats.
Nice.
Too. And it, that never happens, but I got Cal, so I was able to do that now. And I got Bo, and I was able to do that. I did the Bo with, I believe it was Gerbil that put out a video showing how to do it. I think. I'm pretty sure it was. And it was Radis with Jin and Cassian. And then I had Bo in there because you need to keep her alive. But if you just need to do it, if you don't have Bo and you just need to do it without Galactic Legends, just put anyone in that slot. So those 3 with Bo and Watt. And then I loaded them up with Zealous Ambition and went back and bought a Frenzy Tech, the initial Frenzy Tech. At the start of battle, Watt takes his bonus turn. That triggers Frenzy. Everyone gets turn meter. Radis and Jin and Cassian all unload on people. And I'll be honest, I kind of did it in a sort of stupid turn order. So I almost messed it up. But it's not that bad. It's only bad if you mess up and Bo dies, but you finish it and you just burned that Frenzy Tech. That would send me,
into a frenzy.
A frenzy, yes.
There you go, yes.
Okay, so with all that said, it's about an hour we've been talking about this game.
Wow.
Yikes. And we haven't barely even touched on who you grinded.
So I thought maybe this week wasn't going to be as good as last week, but I feel pretty good about where I was. Where I am is poor, in a lot of different ways. But so starting off with Bo, I got her from Relic 6 to Relic 7, which also was nice. You got her Zeta on there for her one of those. I am Zeta poor. So was able to do Way of the Mandalore. And then second, put the Omicron on there as well. And that was going to be right after the lock for the roster. So she will be up to full strength, hopefully, or partial strength, going from there. So, which was, it is what it is. But Leia, I just, she was at Relic 8. She's going to stay at Relic 8, but I did get her ultimate done. So that feels good.
Yeah.
Definitely makes the raid a little bit easier.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
A lot of bit easier. And then also, too, that unlocked the ability to go through and do her special event. So for the Ewok. So that was pretty cool. Or, I mean, that might not have unlocked, just the fact having her did. So
yeah,
that felt pretty good to play like everybody else.
Right. This is what all the cool kids are playing.
I know, right? I mean, I do feel like having Leia and Bo, I feel like a little proud of myself there.
Yeah. You should. Pride and accomplishment.
There you go, right? You can do anything when you spend.
Right.
Now, Jar Jar Boss Nass went from 27 out of 30 up to 19 out of 65. And then Captain Tarples, 20 out of 30 up to 21 out of 65. That one I feel like is going to be pretty good. Cantina is lovely.
Mm-hmm.
And then it looks like we didn't talk about it, but the Gungan Bombardier is now grindable. So that is going to be on light side. So I put him in there as well. Now, looking at kind of the just because I want to phase, Ki-Adi-Mundi went from gear 11 up to gear 12 and working towards gear 13. In armor, got a whopping 1 gear because she wanted 3 different things for Cairo. And she went from gear 8 to gear 9. So, yay.
I mean,
now,
to be fair, she was like asking for Beskar from Mando. So, I mean, like, she needs some big armor. So I get it.
Yeah, I mean, so that was kind of nice. Feels good with finally getting her to the point where I can use her. I don't know. That's just another character of mine that's been one of my favorites. Now, a couple that I wanted to kind of get going a little bit. Now, Malgus was Relic 3. I'm moving him to offense and trying to get him to where, I mean, he just eats up some teams. It just makes sense. And so he got up to Relic 5. So I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to go with that. It might sit at Relic 5 for a little bit, see how it goes on defense, and then go from there. Offense, sorry. You know what I'm talking about. Now, Cal Kestis, he was Relic 3. I got up to Relic 4. I'm going to get him up to Relic 5 and then move on. Now, Sith Empire Trooper, he went from Gear 8 to Gear 12. And so he's another one when you look at kind of the characters that really lift Sith Eternal up. This makes a lot of sense. Just a great tank. So, I mean, and then also, too, at some point, I am going to end up getting Leviathan. So I got to start working towards that. Anytime
you're like doing something for you, but it's something that will be required down the road, that feels good, man. That feels good.
Oh, speaking of stuff that doesn't matter, Raven's Claw went from 0 out of 85 to 10 out of 85. And so if you're doing math, that's 10. Now, here's the thing is I just only do 10s, right? So the BLT, 39 out of 100. Guess what? We got, actually, I just gave you the answer. Come on, Josh.
How many did we have last week? That's the question.
I know, right? 29 out of 100 up to 39 out of 100. And guess what? Last week, if you replay, I had 19 out of 100. So I averaged 10 per week.
Wow.
It's painful. All right, so lastly for me, I'm going to end on talking about the Datacron that is just outstanding and wonderful, that beats everything. I love now. I'm actually starting to really move my way up in even the regular arena. This SLKR Datacron, just feels so good. I mean, man, is this a Datacron of Datacrons? I mean, I thought they did a good job last time around with Sidious, and I think that's great. And obviously, Bane's is wonderful. I'm worried about, I think Bane is still going to be good even after the Datacron, but
there's going to be an adjustment period for sure, because we're just used to him being able to do anything.
But I mean, so far with SLKR, like I said, I'm trying out each thing. Rey gets just destroyed. I mean, it's a no contest. Leia destroyed. Kenobi is a little bit tougher. I have lost against Kenobis, but in general, it's still relatively pretty easy. And then Lord Vader. There's a one in Lord Vader there I'm going to do tonight before I pass out and go to bed. Just because I just want to kind of see. It looks like it's outstanding. I mean, when he does his first poke, I mean, it's a poke, man.
When that boy pokes, let me tell you, he pokes.
But yeah, so Datacrons are interesting, but the fact that it's at 300% defense penetration as well helps out just a tad bit. So yeah, I got to grind a little bit for myself, right? So, in this case, because I did something for myself, I do want to hear something about you because I got to even this out a little bit. So who you grinding?
I do nothing for myself.
Oh, man.
I got my Bo-Katan from Relic 4 up to 7. So that's done. Leviathan came around. I got a 7-star Leviathan.
Nice.
No big deal. I just feel like that is just the best feeling. Getting a capital ship to 7 stars and saying, I'm never going to worry about you again. Like, you're done. It's awesome. Awesome. I've been saving everything for Amidala, honestly. So the rest of my grind is pretty weak. I think I took Boss Nass from 14 up to 39 out of 85. I took Raven's Claw from 37 up to 46 out of 100. And I took Stap from 13 up to 31 out of 85. And that's it. That's all the grinding I've done. I've got my Gungans in my favorites. I'll start them soon. I want to get... I don't know. I want to get Stap done. This was my plan. Get Stap finished. Then we're going to have to do some signal data for Amidala. And then we do... Which Gungan is it? Tarpals that's on Cantina?
Yeah, yep, Captain.
And then we'll do that. And the reason being, like, it'd be nice to have Tarpals done and out of the way.
Yeah.
But I've got time. I got to do some... the Boomadir is light side. Like,
yeah,
that's going to take some sweet time. So I'm not in a rush to get Tarpals done because, I mean, that's a matter of like, oh, we're almost done with everything else. Here, let me finish up Tarpals real quick. So that's still the plan, is finish up Stap, then do whatever signal data I need for Amidala, and it's going to be a lot because I have like nothing saved.
Yeah.
And then we'll move on to Tarpals. For Zetas, I got it saved up. I got 50 out of the 60 I will need for Queen Amidala. And then Omicrons, man, I told you last week I was going to do Bo, and I had a change of heart, as I always do, and I did Kelleran Beck. And then we did a territory war, and I didn't even use him. I totally forgot that I did that. But no regrets. I mean, it's great. So
it's no regrets, right?
No regrets or regrets. That said, now I'm not going to be doing Embo or Juhani because I got to get back on the GAC Omicrons, man. For every territory war one you spend, I feel like you got to spend 10 GAC ones to stay. Maybe that's a bit extreme, but maybe not. To stay up to date, it's just I can't afford all these Omicrons. That's all we got for you this week. It may not be the best advice, but at least we didn't recommend you walk around wearing what the Wampa wears. If you want to continue the conversation, join our Discord server. It's linked in the show description. You can become a real live Jawa by supporting us on Patreon and share your thoughts by leaving us a podcast review. Big thanks also go out to Pabuapa and swgoh.gg and swgohevents.com for providing all the hard data we misinterpret weekly. Thanks for tuning in, and may the Force and RNG be with you.